Hello everyone, it is 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday as I'm filming this. I've been really busy all Friday evening and past midnight tonight. So yeah, very busy, but I wanted to come on here and make this video to give you guys a couple of updates, cover some recent news, and also provide previews and reviews of various shows that have already happened that are coming up. So I've got a lot that I want to get through. Big thing I want to announce is a live stream series I'm going to be doing in 2019, specifically for Wrestlemania season. As some of you know, I've been doing the live stream series for Saturday night's main event and Clash of Champions on my channel pretty much all year long. That is getting close to wrapping up over the next few weeks. Actually, my next stream, the plan right now is to have my next stream Friday evening. I'm going to be in DC during the day for a beer festival because I'm a highly functioning alcoholic. So I'm going to be doing that, attending Snallygaster, which is one of the key DC beer festivals in this area. And when I get back home from that, I will, the plan is for me to do the live stream then, but that depends on how sober I am. We shall see. I might be just inebriated enough to do the live stream, and I'll be a complete train wreck the entire time. So it might be fun for you guys. I don't know. But yeah, so I want to let you guys know, right now the plan is to have the stream tomorrow night, or I guess later tonight, whenever I get home from Snallygaster. So I'm going to have a busy Saturday. It's going to be fun. But my live stream series for 2019 is going to be related to WrestleMania, and is going to be done in a way where I will watch 2 matches and live stream my reactions and critique and my opinions of those matches from each WrestleMania, all 34 to date. I will watch 2 matches from each show, talk about them, my memories of them, my opinions of them, and various other things. And you get to watch me relive the memories of WrestleMania all the way through. Now, which matches am I going to watch? That's going to be partially up to you, half up to me. The way it's going to work, I will select 1 match from each show for me to watch, and then you guys will get to select the second match from a poll that I've already created. There's a link to the Google document in the description down below. Follow that link, and that Google document will have links to each poll for each WrestleMania, while also explaining the match that I've already selected that I'll be watching as part of the live stream. So you will have a hand in selecting which WrestleMania matches I watch. And again, it's going to be 2 matches per WrestleMania. It should be a lot of fun. Some of those matches I haven't seen in years, so it'll be fun to go back and relive a lot of those WrestleMania memories. I think it should make for a fun live stream series heading into WrestleMania. You guys will be able to vote on these matches and in these polls up until February 1st, 2019. So you have from now until February 1st to make your selections and make your voices heard and influence how my live stream series goes. Now, I really encourage you guys to check out the link to the Google Doc and to mess around with it and make sure that the links work. If there are any links to the polls that do not work, please let me know so I can go ahead and get that fixed and get you guys the proper poll and make sure that you guys can make your votes. So, but yeah, you can go in there, make your votes, and the cutoff point is February 1st, 2019. So you got a long time to make your selections. After that date, I'm going to start knocking them out and making those things available to you guys and start doing those live streams. And again, it should be a lot of fun. Especially some of the, even the bad WrestleMania matches should be fun to relive, just to kind of make fun of. So so that'll be that. So that'll be my live stream series in 2019, at least pre-WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, I'll think, I've got a few ideas of things I want to do, but for right now, that's the plan for 2019, and I encourage you guys to participate. So, like I said, a link to the Google document is in the description down below, so be sure to participate. So, what else is going on in the world of wrestling today? Well, WWE is in a bit of a conundrum, shall we say. Their Saudi Arabia event, their second Saudi Arabia event, Crown Jewel, might not happen because WWE looks like they're caught between a rock and a hard place given current events. And I'm going to pull up this article that I found on CNBC just to explain to you the situation. This is as it stands now. World Wrestling Entertainment is on the verge of being drawn into a rising political and diplomatic tensions with Saudi Arabia, putting its multi-million-dollar deal for live events in jeopardy. The Arab state is currently embroiled in an international crisis over the disappearance of Saudi national and United States resident Jamal Khashoggi. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but a journalist for the Washington Post, Khashoggi was last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul last week. Turkish authorities have claimed he was murdered by Saudi agents, while Riyadh has denied that Khashoggi and the kingdom have... Riyadh has denied killing Khashoggi, and the kingdom have insisted he left the consulate shortly after he arrived. Sounds fishy, but okay. WWE is due to return to Saudi Arabia for November 2nd for its crown jewel night of wrestling, but now it is unclear if the event at King Saud University Stadium in Riyadh will go ahead. A representative for WWE released a statement to the media saying, "We are currently monitoring the situation." WWE has already taken its traveling show to Saudi Arabia once this year when it sold out the 60,000 capacity King Abdullah International Stadium in Jeddah for the Greatest Royal Rumble. This proposed show would be the second event as part of a large long-term partnership between the WWE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And that pretty much covers it right there. So WWE looks like it's getting wrapped up in an international incident that's waiting to boil. Yeah, I guess that's what happens. You know, a lot of people said that making any kind of a relationship with Saudi Arabia was a good money decision. I mean, they got a shitload of money to do these shows, but a bad, kind of a bad political move for the WWE because shit like this could happen. So, I mean, if it were up to me, I would try to get out of it as fast as possible. I'm like, look, we don't need this heat. We don't want to get wrapped up in this. I would cancel the show and just move on, live to fight another day, and just get the fuck as far away from this as humanly possible, especially if it turns out he was killed. The journalist, which it seems very likely that that's the case. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the whole situation seems very fishy. And yeah, if I were WWE, I would steer clear of this and get the fuck out of Dodge and not get wrapped up in this nonsense. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. I would cancel the show and just live, like I said, live to fight another day. And yeah, that's the situation as it stands now. We'll know more as the weeks and days go on, but looks pretty bad for WWE that they get wrapped up in this, but them's the breaks. So I wanted to close out this video with one show review and one show preview for a show that's happening this weekend. We've got Bound for Glory 2018 happening this Sunday, but before I preview that, I do want to review New Japan's latest big show offering, King of Pro Wrestling, which I finally got around to watching. And I want to talk about that show, give my overall impressions of it, and break it down match by match and do all that other fun stuff. Gotta say, really liked the show. I adored the show. It really, it was better than I expected it to be, and I expected it to be pretty good. I really enjoyed it top to bottom, not just for the matches, but some of the hot angles that they came up with. And it's like, ooh, things are heating up and getting interesting. And match-wise, I think we got a couple of great matches at the end, and most of the card was pretty solid throughout. So solid night of wrestling with some hot angles to add some intrigue and some fuel to the fire as we head into Wrestle Kingdom in January. So I know that there was that report from the Observer that foreign wrestlers aren't happy with the current management in New Japan. I don't necessarily want to comment on that because we don't really know enough. At least for right now, it doesn't seem to be affecting the quality of the product. I mean, I haven't noticed a downturn in quality for New Japan, so as long as they can keep the quality high, I'm okay. So, but yeah, going over the card, we opened up with the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, and Kanemaru taking on Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask, who they attacked before the bell, setting themselves up effectively as the heels. I thought this was a good match, good basic junior heavyweight match with the Legends getting their spots in and Suzuki-gun being allowed to get the win, getting the win over the Legends. Pretty solid stuff. Nothing great, nothing grand, but a nice solid opener to kick off the show. Next up, we had Great Bash heel, Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Hanma. Glad to have him back. You know, with all the injuries going on in New Japan in the last few years, some big injuries like we lost Shibata. For right now, we've lost Takahashi. Hanma's injury looked like it was going to be career-ending, so for him to come back and look as good as he does, it's like good for him. It's good to have him back, and hopefully we can move away from those career-ending moves that are causing a lot of those injuries, because you don't really need them. But anyway, so we had Great Bash Heel taking on Taguchi Japan members Juice Robinson, and Toa Hanare. I thought this was a good, solid tag match, and I think Makabe and Hanma work very well together as a team. I think they make a very good team. Makabe captured some of the old magic that he had when I first watched him a few years ago, and Hanma looks like he can still go, and we got a nice, hard-hitting tag match out of it. Great Bash Heel got the win. Juice Robinson continues to look good, even after losing the U.S. title to Cody. I think pretty much everybody in this match came off looking really, really good. A lot of snug hits and big moves and everything. And Makabe and Hanma showed that their chemistry is still there. So overall, I enjoyed this match. And it's nice to see a little bit more depth in both tag divisions, junior and heavyweights. Because, you know, you had a junior heavyweight tag match that didn't even have the Young Bucks in it. Oh, my God, that's crazy. Roppongi 3K wasn't in it either. So it's kind of like, oh, it's nice. They're actually getting some more teams under, you know, in their rosters, which is good. Next up was an 8-man tag team match that I was very interested in seeing. The Bullet Club OGs, Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier, taking on the Bullet Club Elite, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Chase Owens. Given the Bullet Club Civil War that's been going on since the US show earlier in the summer, I was really interested in seeing where this would ultimately go. We saw all the stuff that happened during the G1 Climax, and now we get this first big encounter between both sides. As the Bullet Club OGs are really bolstering their roster. More on that in a bit. And I thought this match was very entertaining, very good. It was nice to see guys like the Young Bucks in there to provide the high-flying stuff, working against the power guys like Bad Luck Fale and the Guerrillas of Destiny. Actually, like, Young Bucks versus Guerrillas of Destiny might be a nice match to have at Wrestle Kingdom, assuming that New Japan still has the Young Bucks by the end of the year. We'll see. But overall, I thought this was a really entertaining 8-man tag and a good, like, kind of first step, or good early step in this rivalry with the Bullet Club Civil War. And I like the personality of both sides, where the Bullet Club Elite, that's all like the cool, like, hip with the youngsters, you know, the Codys and the Young Bucks and those type of guys. And for the OGs, you've got like the big, rough, tough, brawler type guys that just want to break the rules and destroy people, which is like Bad Luck Fale and the Guerrillas of Destiny. So, a very entertaining match, really enjoyed it. The heels, the Bullet Club OGs got the win, and we will see where the story goes moving forward. But overall, really entertaining. Next up, we had Chaos taking on Suzuki Gun, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, and Will Ospreay taking on Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, and Takashi Iizuka. Suzuki and Ishii, I need to see like their first big singles match, because I think those two are going to tear it up and have just a wild stiff fest. Whenever that happens, I've got to see it, because I think it's going to be a really good match. We also had Will Ospreay getting a pinfall over Taichi, the never openweight champion. I was like, ooh, so is Ospreay going to move into the heavyweight ranks and win the never openweight belt? A belt that, quite honestly, I think they could get rid of, but given that they have an IC title, a US title, and the world title, it's like, do you really need that fourth belt there? But anyway, big win for Ospreay. Good, fun match. Not as good as the 8-man tag, but good, solid stuff all around, especially with the chemistry that Suzuki and Ishii have, and just Ospreay getting to shine and starting to work with the heavyweights more and more. So good stuff there. Really enjoyed it. And typically, you know, it's been all tag matches up to this point, and typically I get annoyed with that when New Japan does that, but I think each match kind of served a purpose, so I was okay with it. Next up, we had another 8-man tag. Again, they like to spam these things. LIJ, who had an awesome video package right before the match. Nice little segment there. They really are, like, you know, I think in America we kind of think of the Bullet Club as being like the star faction over there, but really, like, LIJ, man, those guys are so fucking over in New Japan, it's ridiculous. And they come across as really, really cool. We actually got introduced to a new member, Shingo Takagi, who I guess is going to be filling in for Takahashi. Hopefully he's able to fill the role. I haven't seen enough of the guy to really have an opinion of him. But in this match, we had Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Takagi taking on members of Chaos, Okada, Toru Yano, and then the members of Roppongi 3K, Yo and Sho. So, again, you look at the talents that are involved in this thing. Okada, who's a megastar. Naito, who's one of the best in New Japan. LIJ, just one of the coolest factions around. And it made for an entertaining match. Okada looked great as always. Naito looked great as always. The action was consistently good throughout, and it made for a fun match. Probably the weakest match so far, but LIJ got the win, which was great to see, and kind of set the stage for what would happen later in the show, even more so. Chaos is in a bit of a crossroads at this point after Gato and Jay White betrayed Kazuchika Okada, and Gato put himself firmly in the camp of Jay White. We would get more development in that angle later in the show. I'll cover that in just a minute. But next up, we had our first singles match of the evening, we were supposed to have our first singles match of the evening, but it didn't happen thanks to a special return. We had Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr., and one of Evil's druids during his entrance attacked him and revealed himself to be Chris Jericho, the Intercontinental Champion. Jericho is back and has set himself up for a match with Evil, while Naito came down and set himself up for a match with Zack Sabre Jr. The match was thrown out, never got started, and very hot stuff. Great to see Jericho again. Great to see Naito get involved. I'm thinking we're going to get Naito versus Jericho 2 at Wrestle Kingdom, if I had to guess. Although I guess they could just as easily do Naito versus Sabre Jr. and Jericho versus Evil. Jericho versus Evil doesn't interest me that much. I don't have anything against Evil. I don't think he's quite up in that upper echelon like the Naitos and the Omegas are. And I'm like, I hear Evil versus Jericho. I think Jericho goes over. But anyway, they could probably do those two matches before Wrestle Kingdom and then do Naito versus Jericho 2 at Wrestle Kingdom, where Naito wins the belt back. But again, we'll see. Anyway, it was a hot angle, if nothing else. It was great to see Jericho, and it was great to see Naito get involved as well. So not much of a match, obviously, because the match pretty much got thrown out, but a hot angle all the same. It was just cool to see Jericho. Next up, we had a singles match for the vacant IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Marty Scurll taking on Kushida. These two have had great matches in the past. This one is no exception. Probably the weakest match I've seen them have, to be honest. But overall, pretty solid action throughout. Good stuff. Both guys look good. Kushida got the win, getting the monkey off his back since he seems to struggle against Marty Scurll. Kushida is now the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Kushida is a reliable hand to go with. He's done very well in that division and with that belt in the past, so seems like a logical choice to have him go over here. And it was just a really good, solid match between two guys that work well with each other typically. So good stuff here. Now we get into the great stuff. Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year, I said the weakest match on that card by far was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White. I didn't think that match worked as well as a lot of the other ones did on that show. I didn't think Jay White was comfortable in the new role they had given him. The match just didn't click. That was the complete opposite of this match, where I thought these two almost, if it wasn't for the main event, I'd say that these two had the match of the night. Jay White and Tanahashi, I thought, had a great match here, and I think Gato adds a lot to Jay White, and I think Jay White's becoming more comfortable. His promos are getting better. I think he's becoming more comfortable in the role as this more roughneck, brawler, rule-breaking type, and I think that added a lot to this match. The match was for Hiroshi Tanahashi's Tokyo Dome title shot at Wrestle Kingdom. Tanahashi got the win, with no surprise, but I think there was a lot more drama in this match, especially with Gato getting involved and a lot of the cheating that was going on, and Jay White just being more of a sick bastard and looking a lot more comfortable in the role that he's been given. I think he's developing, and he's better than he was earlier this year, for sure. And I thought this match is probably the best match I've seen him have since adopting the Switchblade character. And I think things are looking up for him, even in defeat here. Now, what was really interesting was the post-match, where Bullet Club OGs came down, beat up Tanahashi, and I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself here. Jay White and Gato beat up Tanahashi, and Okada came down to challenge them and even up the side. So you've got Okada helping out as arguably his greatest rival in Tanahashi, which that was cool to see, and getting a continuation there in the angle with Gato. Jado came down to defend his brother, to get Okada to stop, and then the Bullet Club OGs came down and were kind of observing the situation, made it look like maybe they were going to go after Jay White and Gato and Jado. Not the case. Gato, Jado, and Jay White have joined the Bullet Club OGs and helped them beat the ever-living dog crap out of Kazuchika Okada. So it looks like we're going to be getting Okada versus Jay White, who is now a full-fledged member of the Bullet Club OGs, which kind of pays off what happened earlier in the year, where Omega offered Jay White a spot in the Bullet Club, and he turned it down and joined with Chaos. But now Jay White's joined with the heel Bullet Club faction, so it's like, ooh, the plot thickens, as they say. And again, I'm a lot more interested in an Okada-Jay White match now than I was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think this is really good. It's almost like they planned this from the beginning. There's like some level of long-term planning going on in New Japan. Crazy. Anyway, I thought the match was very good. I thought the post-match angle was very hot and makes me intrigued in seeing the matches that come out of it moving forward. So A+ stuff here. I really enjoyed it. Now, we got the main event. A match that has been, this is kind of the culmination of everything that's been going on since January. Kenny Omega versus Cody and Kota Ibushi in a triple threat match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Excellent match. Great action throughout. Played off a lot of the storyline buildup that had been going on all throughout the year with the Golden Lovers reuniting and the Cody Omega feud and everybody reconciling and Omega and Ibushi having their match in the G1 Climax. This was just the culmination of all those different story threads heading into this one match. Omega got the win, which was no surprise, but I thought it was an excellent, long, action-packed match that played on all those different stories. Cody was doing moves that I'd never seen him do before. Ibushi was great as always. Omega, I mean, he's just killing it this year and as IWGP champion. So excellent, excellent main event. Loved it. Really kind of put this show over the top for me. If they had ended it with Tanahashi and Jay White in that hot angle, I would have said this was a really good show, like a B+ level show. That main event was just a bonus and just put it into the levels. Like, you know what? I enjoyed pretty much every match on the show. I enjoyed all the hot angles, like Jericho's return and the stuff they did with Okada and Jay White. And the last 2 matches were great. I'm going to give the show an A. I think it's one of the, maybe not one of the tippy-top best shows of the year, but certainly in the top 10 somewhere. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. It was really good. And it's nice to see New Japan deliver another strong outing. So great stuff, New Japan. I thought you did great. Excellent show. Now, before I sign off here, I do want to do a quick preview for Bound for Glory 2018, give my thoughts and predictions on the show. I'm going to check out the show mainly because Slammiversary was so good that I thought, you know what, I'll give them another chance because that pay-per-view was great and I want to see what they do for Bound for Glory, which is supposed to be this company's, formerly TNA, now Impact Wrestling. It's supposed to be their biggest pay-per-view of the year. So recent impacts have not been great, mainly because they've been in Mexico and kind of that novelty is kind of wore off, and it wore off pretty quick, and it feels like they've just been kind of killing time heading into Bound for Glory. But I'm confident that this show could be at least solid, so we'll see how they do. Going up and down the card, we've got Eli Drake taking on a mystery opponent. I love Eli Drake. I think he's kind of a hidden gem. Kind of a, you know, it's kind of like what they say about Buddy Murphy. He's the best kept secret in WWE. Eli Drake's like the best kept secret in wrestling. It's like, I think that dude is fantastic and deserves more credit than he gets. I don't know. I have no idea who his opponent's going to be, so we'll have to just wait and see. Depending on who it is, if it's some scrub, Eli Drake wins. If it's a huge surprise, then probably the surprise should go over, just to kind of put over the guy coming in. So, again, we'll see how it goes. Next up, we have a knockouts match, Ali versus Su Yung. They've been feuding for the last few months, it seems. I feel like that should be a casket match. I'm not the type of guy that likes to throw gimmicks onto everything, but given the build-up to this, I really feel like that should probably be a casket match. I'm going to pick Ali to win and get a revenge on Su Yung. I wouldn't be surprised if Rosemary came back and made her presence felt in this match. It'll be what it is. Culmination of a long-running feud. Not overly excited for it, but it should be okay. Next up, we have a tag team match. Matt Sydal and Ethan Page taking on Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Return of the Mack. Return of the Mack. This should be fun. I think this could be a nice, solid match, and it'll be cool to see Willie Mack have a match on a pay-per-view. I'm a big mark for the guy, and I think Rich Swann has done well since going to Impact, and I think Matt Sydal is kind of a reliable stand-in. So I think this could be, if not a spectacular match, like a solid undercard match to kind of fill out the show. Next we have, for the Knockouts Championship, Tessa Blanchard taking on Taya Valkyrie. This feels a bit rushed. It feels like they just kind of threw these two together just to give Tessa a title defense on the pay-per-view. I think Tessa should keep the title because she's just the best thing that the division has right now. I think she's fantastic and is just positioning herself to be like their iconic key female star. I think the match could be good. I think it could be solid, but I think Blanchard should definitely retain here. Next up, we have a singles match, Eddie Edwards versus Moose, building off of Moose's recent heel turn and join up with Austin Aries. Could be solid. Given Eddie Edwards' recent character development, I would have expected this to be a hardcore match, but we've got 2 other hardcore matches on the show. That's probably why that this one's just a regular singles match, but it could be good, could be solid. I think Moose has done fairly well in his new role, even though a heel turn may have seemed ill-advised at the time. I think he's done okay. Eddie Edwards as playing this crazy babyface role fairly well, so I think this could be a solid match. I will pick Moose to win and continue setting him up as a top heel moving forward. Next up, we have an OVE rules match, which I'm assuming is the same as like a Ravens rules match, where it's just a straight-up street fight, hardcore match. OVE, Dave Crist, Jake Crist, and Sami Callihan taking on Brian Cage, Phoenix, and Pentagon Jr. Brian Cage being the X Division champion, so no X Division title match on the show. I think some people are going to complain about that. I have my own thoughts on the X Division and what needs to be done with it, which could probably take up another video, but I'll tackle that at a different time. Pentagon and Sami Callihan stole the show at Slammiversary, I thought. One of my favorite matches that I've seen this year. I think that these 6 guys have done very well on Impact, have had some of the better matches in Impact recently, so I expect this to be the match of the night. Just a wild free-for-all, hardcore, violent showcase between 6 guys that typically deliver when you give them that kind of wild free-for-all type of match. I think it's going to be really good. Who goes over? I'm tempted to give it to the heels, OVE, just to kind of keep that faction alive and keep heat on that faction. And maybe they could do like a Pentagon Phoenix feud moving forward, or a Pentagon Phoenix Brian Cage X Division title match moving forward, or something like that. So I think there's more of a benefit to having OVE go over here, but we'll see. Anyway, I think this is going to be a wild spectacle of the match. It should probably be the match of the night. And the other wild hardcore match that we're having is a concrete jungle death match, which God only knows what that is. I have no idea what that's going to be. The Latin American Exchange, Santana, Ortiz, and Conan taking on the OGs, Hernandez, Homicide, and King. I don't expect Conan and King to do much in this. Just kind of hit their spots when they need to hit the key story beats. The feud has been mostly good, except for the whole bit where the kid got ran over and they never explained who the kid was. So I was like, all right, I mean, it's sad that a kid got hurt in this feud, but why should I care who that is? I don't know who that is. So that was a bit of a misstep in the story. But again, I expect this to be kind of a wild... I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of a final deletion type of match where it's all pre-tapes and cinematic type of insanity. So could be good, could be really good, could be a disaster depending on how it goes. I don't know. I'm going to pick the Latin American Exchange to win and get their revenge on the OGs and officially put an end to this feud. But hopefully it goes well. And then we have the main event for the Impact World Championship. Austin Aries defending against Johnny Impact. Impact's making his return. Johnny Impact, that's also Johnny Mundo, John Morrison. He changes his name everywhere he goes. I think this match could be excellent. I think these two could work really well together. And I'm going to pick Impact to win the title. I'm going to pick Impact to win the title and end the show on a high note with a big title change. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Bound for Glory. Hopefully it's a good show. And hopefully you all enjoy your weekend. Again, my live stream is set to happen tomorrow night, probably later in the night, like past midnight. It'll probably end past midnight, just to give you an idea of where my mind is at and what my schedule is looking like. But we'll see. And again, we'll play it by ear. But thank you all for watching. It was fun making this video, and I've got more for you lined up in the next couple of weeks. My next What Went Wrong is actually going to be posted next week, so fingers crossed. Hopefully you all like that one. But that's all I have for you now. Y'all enjoy what's left of your night. I should go to bed because I'm going to be a disaster area tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm going to be half asleep and going to a beer fest. That's only good things can come from that, right? But like I said, that's all I have for you now. Y'all have a good night, and I will see those of you who participate in the live stream. I will see you all tomorrow. But take care, and I'll see you all later.